outside, nothing on TV or anything like that, so I decided to make a video on something that my wife bought at the dirt cheap store. She bought a bag of trail mix, bars, snacks of that kind, and in there was also this package of Santa Fe style rice and beans with chicken from the Backpackers Pantry in Boulder, Colorado, otherwise known as the People's Republic of Boulder. It was taken over by hippies and stoners and whatnot like that back about 30 years ago, and it was where legal marijuana originated in Colorado. I remember they had bumper stickers at that time. It says, "Don't Californicate, Colorado." Too bad they did. But anyway, this is supposed to be 2 meals here, or servings for 2 people. Calories 350 per serving, and down through here, but the list of ingredients down here reads like a telephone book. Starts out with black beans, tomato powder, and it's got all these eights and ides and everything like that in it, and I won't even attempt that, but the instruction says to empty the contents of this powder pouch into boiling water, 2 1/4 cups of boiling water, and stir well, cover, and let set for 15 to 20 minutes. Stir and enjoy. So I thought I would make this up just more or less to see what it is. But a lot of people are preppers, they call them. They think that we're going to have Armageddon or some terrible thing to happen, and they need food for it and want to store it. But at about $9 to $10 a pack, this is kind of expensive stuff to store, even though back when I was riding bicycles and doing some bicycle touring, I carried a package of this sort of freeze-dried food along in my pack there in case I did have to have a cold meal on the road. But usually what I would do if I was going to camp out on the bicycle, I would buy a can of Denny Moore beef stew or something like that and just warm it. So now I'm going to go to the stove and put this on. Well, I've got the water on boiling. I just turned the burner off here. Dump in the package. Stir it in. Well, it smells pretty good. I don't know how it's going to taste, but I'll put the lid on there. We'll come back in 20 minutes and check it out. One of the more interesting tours that I did was in western Oklahoma to follow Custer's trail that he took from Fort Supply when he went out to find the Cheyenne winter camp and attack it, because they had been attacking over into Texas and up in as far as Kansas, and the Cheyenne was a warlike people, and rather than settle down in reservations and things like that, they, especially the younger men, who they didn't think they were a man until they'd taken a scalp, they would set out in raiding parties and be gone for a month or longer and take what they wanted when they raided a farm or a wagon train or something, and kill the men and capture the women and the kids to use themselves or sell as slaves or sell back to their families And in the winter they'd usually get it in a more secluded place, and it was called the Final Cheyenne War. But at any rate, I wrote a magazine article about that, and it was published, I've forgotten which one of the bicycle magazines, but I've got it in my website, and I'll put the link in for it in the descriptions of this video. But back to what I was going to talk about was preppers, people who put things up and save them for, or have them there in case they have a disaster of some kind. And they're always talking about freeze-dried foods and things of that sort. And actually there's a couple of things far more important than food when it comes to what you're going to need immediately after a disaster of some kind. One of them's water. Even though they have overhead tanks here, they wouldn't last long if the pumping them full stopped running because of lack of electricity. And that can happen from ice storms that bring down the grid around there that furnishes power. And the other one is cash. Now, I think we stand a greater chance of needing cash than we do food or water. The banks have been closed more than one time by presidents and Congress and things like that, and when the banks close and the cash is no longer there, and today with everything on credit cards, you run out of cash in a hurry. And well, even down at Houston at our last hurricane that came through there, it shut down the credit card service facilities there, and credit cards wouldn't work. And just to buy something simple, even though it might be in the stores, you couldn't without cash. You need water, and that's simple. I've got 4-gallon jugs of fresh water in the pantry here, down in the back of it, and that'll last a while. The other thing is, on your car, you should always consider a half tank as being out of gas. Keep it above a half tank, because like in Katrina, when it came to New Orleans, there's people trying to leave and they had run out of gas and sitting by the highway 20 miles out of town, or 40. And if you have a half tank of gas, that'll take you a couple hundred miles. That'll get you a long ways from a disaster. So keep your gas tanks full, or half full or fuller. Put you up some cash to tide you through that, and store some water, and the rest of it wouldn't be nearly as difficult to take care of. Now it's been about 20 minutes, so let's check that pan and see what that food looks like. Well, we've been 18 minutes since I put this on. It looks like a good thick soup there. And the beans look like they have expanded and whatnot, so I figure this is ready for a taste test. So I'm going to put some of it in a bowl here. I'm going to take that to the table and see what I think of it. Well, here we are at the table. I brought my bowl in here. Let you see what it looks like in there. Well, you can see the rice and the beans and the corn. You know, that's not really bad. I guess if you're going to pay $10, they would at least try to make it taste good. You know, sitting out someplace camped out, that'd make a pretty good meal. It's spicy enough for me, which I like better, more spice than a lot of people do. And this would be too hot for some people, so if you don't stand much pepper, you might look for something a little bit milder. They list a bunch of different things. That's Backpacker Pantry in Boulder, Colorado. You can look it up on the internet, and you can buy it at REI or Dick's Sporting Goods or a number of places like that sell it, and it's sold both mail order and in stores. It's just a good thick soup. But you know what? You can buy Bear Creek soup mix. Makes more to the package than this. It makes enough for about 3 people or 4. And it's $3 instead of 10. Well, I'll give this about a score of about 7 out of 10, which isn't bad at all, especially for freeze-dried and things of that sort. So if you want to have some food that you don't have to replace or rotate, well, that's a possibility. They say it's good for 25 years. And you know, I used to explore ghost towns in Colorado, and I found a jar of mustard, and the brand on it and whatnot was dated back to 1888, and it never been opened. I didn't open it, and I gave it to the Mustard Museum up in Wisconsin, and they said it was the oldest jar of mustard that they had never been opened. So accomplished a little something on my ghost towns. So thanks for watching this video. God bless America, God bless Texas, and have a great day.